what is life? Or rather, what is its purpose? Dost thou not wonder at times why we are brought forth into this world, nurtured through our tender years, and then set adrift to make sense of it all, only to one day take our final breath? Is it merely a cycle? Birth, struggle, survival, and death? Or is there something greater hidden beneath the weight of existence? The father of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, proposed that human existence is driven by two fundamental forces: the eros, which is the life instinct, and the thanatos, the death instinct. We are pulled between the yearning to create, to love, to find purpose, and the unconscious pull towards self-destruction, surrender, and decay. Could it be that we are caught between these two opposing forces, seeking meaning whilst also fearing the futility of it all? Do we possess true individuality, or are we mere constructs of our past, shaped by the unconscious echoes of those who came before us? Carl Jung believed that within each of us resides the collective unconscious, a repository of ancestral wisdom, symbols, and archetypes that guide us unknowingly. But if such is true, can we ever be wholly free to shape our own path, or are we bound by the unseen hands of history? Is it possible to live entirely by one's own means, to chase any dream, however grand or humble, and fashion one's days according to no one's script but thine own? Perhaps it is, if only we do not become architects of our own downfall, nor permit others to dim the light within us. But such resolve is more easily spoken than lived, for the world is oft unkind to those who dare defy its expectations. Consider the tale of Evelyn Hugo, a woman of fiction, yet a reflection of many truths. She lived not by the rules set before her, but by those she fashioned for herself. She owned both her triumphs and her sins, refusing to wear the mask that society had designed for her. If only we all held such conviction, to embrace both the beauty and the burdens of our choices, then, indeed, we might live fully with our own stories penned by our own hands. At 4 and 20, I stand at a crossroads, reflecting upon the course of my life, my dreams, and the lessons that time hath unveiled. This is my tale, not one to be agreed with in full perhaps, but one that may in some way mirror thine own. As a child, I dreamt of a life woven in song. I would perform grand concerts within the solitude of our home, my voice echoing in empty rooms. I even composed my own gospel hymns, believing in my innocent certainty that music was my destined path. My mother too bore melodies within her heart, and I recall how she longed to record her compositions. But time, as it oft does, wove its own tale, and those melodies were left unsung, their echoes fading into memories. I was oft told my voice was angelic, and in such words I found comfort. But as I grew, life steered me toward another passion: drama. Within the church, I took part in theatre, where I discovered a strange and wondrous freedom. To step into another's life, to embody a soul not my own, was a magic beyond compare. It was then that I knew this was the life I longed to live. Yet, as with all things, the world had its own plans. When I confessed my desire to my mother, I was met not with encouragement, but with sorrow. "That is not the path God intended," she told me. A woman of deep faith, she saw no virtue in such pursuits. And so, my heart, though filled with longing, was forced into silence. Music returned to me once more in my high school years. I was appointed choir mistress at a Catholic institution, and though it was no grand affair, I cherished it still. That is, until the whispers began. A group of girls, whether out of envy or mere cruelty, spoke ill of my voice. A dear friend came to me one day, hesitating before she revealed their words. That I sang terribly, that I forced my voice, that I was in essence a fraud. Though I knew deep within me that they were but idle tongues, their words took root. From that day forth, I struggled to sing, even in solitude. Each note felt foreign, tainted by doubt. This, in psychology, is the cruel phenomenon of negative reinforcement. A single experience, a careless remark, can reshape one's self perception. No matter how untrue it may be, Albert Bandura's social learning theory speaks how we internalize the options of those around us, and oftentimes we allow their beliefs to define our own. As childhood faded into memory, the time came to choose a path for the future. And so, I found myself in the study of the mind, psychology. Many jest about how the brain reaches full maturity in one's 20s. But in truth, it was through my studies that I truly began to understand myself. Eric Erickson's stages of psychosocial development teach us that young adulthood is the stage of identity versus role confusion. We grapple with defining ourselves, torn between our own desires and the expectations imposed on us. Why had I abandoned my dreams so easily? Why had mere words been enough to silence me? Why do we feel drawn toward certain choices, yet pushed away from others by unseen forces? During my training, I had the privilege of working at one of the largest mental health hospitals in the country. There, amidst patients and colleagues, I found a sense of purpose. To mend hearts, to bring clarity where there was confusion. This was work of great meaning. Yet, Despite the fulfillment it brought, I could not silence the echoes of my old dreams. Life is a strange thing. One arrives upon this earth without choice, and before one can make sense of it, the world demands decisions. What to do, who to become, how to survive. Maslow's hierarchy of needs posits that man first seeks to meet his basic needs, that is, food, shelter, security, before he may even dream of self actualization. But what if one's dream do not align with survival? What if, in seeking stability, one forsakes fulfillment? I have come to believe that one need not surrender all but one dream. The folly is not in holding many aspirations, but in believing that only one is allowed to flourish. The cruelest fate is not failure, but the quiet acceptance of a life unlived. And so, I found myself here in the countryside. Once, I had believed the city to be my destiny, but in truth, it was never truly my own dream. Because in my younger years, those from the city were seen as grand, and I wished to belong among them. But now, in the hush of rural life, I am more myself than I ever was in the chaos of urban living. Jesus Christ. To be a therapist is a gift. In this quiet place, I have mended hearts, and in doing so, I have found fulfillment. Yet, reality remains I am not yet fully independent, and therein lies the great challenge. Dreams are beautiful, but the weight of financial burdens oft forces many to stray from their true path. Viktor Frank, a man who survived the horrors of war, once wrote that he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. If I were to name the root of many ailments of the mind and soul, it would be this: the loss of what might have been. But if I am to leave thee with one thought, let it be this: life is fleeting. If we must leave it, Let it be on our own terms. Let us write our own stories, chase the dreams that call to us, and refuse to be shaped by forces that do not know the depth of our hearts. For if life is but a single breath in the great wind of time, let it be one that is truly ours. And so, dear wanderer, may thy journey be thine own, unwritten yet boundless, shaped not by the echoes of others, but by the whispers of thy own heart. Fear not the winding path, nor the unknown ahead. For every step, whether light or heavy, is but a verse in the tale of thy becoming. Go forth and write boldly.